DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
And we're live. We are on. Everything's working.
Yeah.
It's a Valentine's miracle. No, no. Maybe
I don't know about miracle. I mean, I do believe in miracles. I just don't know if this is one of them. Maybe it's a miracle that people are still watching me after all these.
That they haven't tuned out in our and we have some people who are here. They could have been on a date tonight, and instead they decided to join us.
I was just thinking that I guess what a great way to spend my Valentine's with all the people I love so much. So,
and you're not saying that sarcastically.
Mm-mm. No, not at all. In fact, my wife, I don't think is even bothered. For one thing, it's just a day.
Yeah. What
about the other 364 and a quarter days out of the year? Too. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Yep. Exactly.
She knows I love you all more.
Oh, that's really not going to do well for Ben.
No, yeah. In unrelated news, does anybody have a spare couch I could sleep?
Yeah, I was going to say there's a doghouse that someone had for sale that you might need to check into there, Ben. Michael G. Waiting for the backpack.
I think I'm gonna post this tomorrow on Facebook because I haven't done this scientifically yet, but this is just sort of a inclination that my Facebook Messenger has been blowing up ever since about 5:30 tonight Central Time. And that makes sense. People get off their day jobs and they send messages, whatever. And I thought it's dinner time on Valentine's, and my messenger is just blowing up. Now, I would expect that to be all of my single friends who are like, well, I guess I don't have anything going on tonight, so I'll message Ben. But overwhelmingly, it seems to be married people. I don't understand.
I know what you mean. I was surprised that I put up a video this afternoon, and I had people messaging and asking questions and different things. It's like, I'm trying to make supper for the children here so I can help and get a few things done. And yeah.
Well, after we wrap up the show, I'm gonna go express my undying love to my wife, and we'll probably, I don't know, watch some TV and fall asleep. That's how exciting we are. So
well, and because we can do this, because it's basically we're the ones making up the rules as we go with the show. What would a date night in Ben Stowe's world look like? This could have been our real topic for tonight. This could be an interesting topic.
Well, I think a date night in my world and my wife's world would look differently. In my wife's world, I think a date night would mean me leaving my phone home, or ignoring it. And part of that is because I do really like our customers, and I have a hard time ignoring things that come onto my phone, even if I am on a date. I have a hard time pushing off those issues. And some of my customers, to be fair, have a hard time with it too. I'll sort of, if it's not time critical, I'll say, listen, I'm on a date with my wife. Could I get back to you tomorrow? Oh, sure. But while I got you, one more thing. You don't understand what I'm saying here. My life is in danger.
Come on, Ben. I've only done that twice to you, so come on.
No, I don't know. I think, we're pretty, we just really enjoy each other. We're pretty boring people. I mean, we obviously have a good marriage and all that, but we, maybe just dinner, a walk, get some ice cream. This is summertime we're talking now. In the winter, we take out the dog sled, but, I don't know, I think the big thing is just doing something together. It doesn't have to be over the top. We're not talking like Eiffel Tower moments here. Just particularly when we're apart so much because I'm traveling. I think just being together is really all it. It could be watching a movie in bed with some popcorn or something. It doesn't have to be really over the top. I know I'm not very romantic. I'm sorry.
No,
does this surprise anybody? Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if we were going to get into any sci-fi things during this whole conversation. So I'm actually very proud that we didn't get into that there wasn't any mention.
We really are. We're different that way. She's not much of a sci-fi fan. She's very tolerant of, of my.
Tolerant. I love that word. She's tolerant of my.
Yeah, my sci-fi. Well, gosh, I mean, I had a little free time on Saturday and decided to just kind of relax and, watch some TV or whatever. And I found a show on algorithms on Netflix, and I mean, I don't know, nobody's surprised about this either. I was like, ooh, there's a show on algorithms. I'm going to watch a show on algorithms. I
Wow.
did. I watched a few hours worth of shows on algorithms.
Oh, not the most. Honey, let's go out on. There's a movie at the theater on algorithms. Let's go.
Well, maybe I should mention that I watched these alone.
Mom, he's in the room, and you wouldn't believe what he's watching. Oh no, dear, what is it?
Algorithms. So true.
Oh, buddy. Oh, so tonight, gang, we're going to talk a little bit about some DMX things. One of the things I've heard from a lot of you that aren't using DMX is the intimidation level of just trying to get a couple of basic lights connected to a DMX controller. I said, I threw that out to Ben and said, hey, can we do something? And he says, of course.
Yeah, and it won't involve algorithms. No algorithms for you tonight.
Yeah, too many numbers will be tough for us. So what do you have? Let's start. Let's just jump right into it.
Well, algorithms can be very simple, but so to start, I hope I'm kind of hitting the curve here of what people want, and that's the beauty of a live show is you can ask questions as we go along. My overwhelming preference for DMX Control is a software-based solution. I find them very, very, very simple to use because they speak human language like you do. They have pretty pictures, very intuitive graphic user interface. But for tonight, in order to really try to hit the lowest common denominator, I went ultra simple and ultra inexpensive. So I have a very small, very simple DMX controller. And I grabbed two lights. I grabbed a Color Wash Par.
Nice. Yep, which is very similar. I mean, kind of a basic that every DJ would probably have.
And then I just grabbed a basic effect light. I said, you know what? I just kind of, it was really not necessarily random, but it was what was close. As I was going through our showroom, mindful that I did want to try to have Valentine's dinner real quick with my wife, just a home cooked deal, but just something before we got on the air here. And so I said, all right, I'm just going to grab a couple things. But I think that's the perfect way to show you how incredibly easy this is. It really, really, really is easy. And if you're afraid of it, there was a famous president years ago, right? We all remember, FDR. The only thing you have to fear is your fear itself. Okay. There's nothing to be afraid of here. So, with that said, John, unless you've got any questions or any guidance, I think I can just jump right in and show people how just ridiculously easy this can be.
Let's take it from there. I'm going to actually put you to full screen so that it'll be a little easier for folks to see. So now you have the power.
That's right. I have the full screen. All right. We ready to rock?
We are.
Okay. So we have our controller here. Okay. And in the back, just going to point out a couple quick things. Here's our DMX output right here. And somewhere back here, I think I got my finger on it. I do. There's a polarity switch. This little simple thing can screw you up. You should only have to sort of a good troubleshooting thing to check to make sure it's in the right place. On a DMX circuit, the pin 3 should be positive. So we just want to check and make sure that this switch here, there it is, is flipped so that pin 3 is positive. Okay. That's the last we're going to see of that switch.
And I've wondered about that. Should a person take a little tiny piece of gaff tape and just cover that switch so it doesn't get messed with?
It's not a bad idea. And the other thing is just that it's a troubleshooting step. If things just don't seem to be working, that we could do a whole show on troubleshooting. But the thing is, the usual suspects are the usual suspects for a reason, at least in the technology world. They're typically the problem. And we're also going to start with simple things first. Always knock the simple things out first. Why? Because they're simple and you can cross them off the list really fast before you get into algorithms. And two, they're probably the culprit. More often than not, it's something simple and not something, complex. But if it is complex, you'll get to that by knocking out some simple things very quickly. So that's one thing you can check. Is the switch in the right polarity?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to take and plug in our DMX cable here. And I'm just going to plug it into where it goes. Now, in the interest of expediency tonight, sorry, I'm going to adjust my microphone. Hopefully it doesn't make too much noise here.
You're good. You're good.
In the interest of expediency today, I've used some of our all-in-one cables that has both power and DMX running in it. So you could just pretend this is just a regular DMX cable here, except that, again, because I wanted to make this quick and painless for me, it has power running also.
Very cool.
Yes. As I was leaving the showroom, one of my coworkers saw me grabbing those, and they said, "Boy, you do want to make this painless tonight, don't you?" Yes, I do. So now I'm just going to take my light, and I'm going to connect my DMX cable, and I'm going to connect my power cable. Okay, and there we are. We're all set to go. On the back, we've got our little menu. And I have address A001 selected. Now, some lights have multiple profiles. This one, in this case, has a few menu settings. And we want it to be in our 3-channel mode, which it is. So what that means is that we have 3 DMX channels in use, and they are going to control the red, green, and blue values of the light. Okay. So far, the only important thing we need to know here is it's address 1. And on our little controller here, which I apologize, is going to be upside down for you. But here we can see these fixture buttons. We have 8 fixture buttons to choose from. And it makes perfect sense, hopefully to everybody, that fixture 1 is address 1.
Okay.
Super simple, painless.
So far.
Mm-hmm. The fact that this fixture is using 3 channels is not something we're concerned with right at this moment. So we're keeping this super simple here. All right. So what I'm going to do on my controller is I'm simply going to, I'm going to see if I can't turn this over so y'all can see it.
Right.
There we go. I apologize. That's one of the downsides of the all-in-one cables is I have a short leash. I'm going to select fixture 1. Oh, first I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn the power switch
I
up.
was going to say, it looks really dark.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now I'm going to select fixture 1.
Mm-hmm.
And by bringing up my first fader, we should see some red light. And we do. Okay. Can you see the red light?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have green and we have blue. There's my 3 channels. There's my 3 DMX channels, red, green, and blue. Okay, just that simple. Now, using combinations of red, green, and blue, we can mix various colors. And I'm going to try to prop this light up and just shoot shoot myself right in the face.
There you go.
See if I can't shoot the wall behind me or something. I don't know, but I guess we'll just go for whatever. Of course, the computer's camera adjusts in the lights. So. John, why don't you throw me a softball here and pick a color that's not red, green, or blue. Pick a color that I'm going to have to mix, but I'm just going to demonstrate how really easy this is.
Well, let's see how close you can get to a purple. I know that's a tougher color, but I want to try to get more of a purple. And you can see the kind of purple glow on your face.
Yeah, it's a fairly purple. I wish I had a.
Yeah, the camera's going to adjust.
Yeah, the camera's just going to keep adjusting. So,
but yeah, it gives us an idea.
Yeah, and of course, I can make different hues of purple. I can make a pink or purple, So anyway, very easy. Other colors we might make would be like a yellow. We could make this a little bit more of an amber. Well, it's just so hard to see on camera. I'm sorry, but let's see if this is any better.
No, it'll wash right out. I think
yeah.
we get the idea.
Well, just trust me. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. Super simple. Now, let's say that we had several of these and we wanted to alternate colors. We could use some of these remaining 7 fixture buttons to put other lights. And so you could have, one fixture at address 1, and then the next fixture set up for fixture button 2 or whatever. And thus could very easily control these, or you just want to custom mix a wash. Anyway, the point here is that what you're going to do is going to dictate how you do it. But the fact is even with explaining it, we had DMX up and running in a matter of seconds, really. So let's up the ante a little bit. Unless we have any questions, let's check in here.
No, I think we are good here. I think we are good. Yeah.
Okay.
Howie doesn't use math in his line of work, so.
I don't either.
He says that sarcastically, of course.
Yeah, right. Let's up the ante and let's add an effect light. Let's add our effect light we have here. Now, again, I'm making this super simple. I've got my little all-in-one cable here. So I'm just going to connect this to my light. And that is as easy as it gets for connecting DMX, by the way. It's what we call a line topology, meaning that the fixtures just connect in a line, in, out, in, out, in, out. So here's my out. Okay, so I'm connecting that. So we got DMX cable in, DMX cable out. And connect my power. This fixture also has a power out, which is really nice.
Very nice.
Link right along here. Now, the magic number, by the way, is about 31 fixtures that we should put on a DMX bus. We call this a bus. So we can cable together about 31 fixtures reliably.
And what happens when you get beyond that? Is it just that the signal from the unit isn't strong enough to continue to send that digital signal out?
Correct. Your results will vary. Oh gosh, I want to make a mess here. I've seen people connect more. I've seen people have problems with less. If you have a really inexpensive controller and it has a very poor, DMX chip in it, I've seen where 31 is too many. But typically, that's what the standard says is a reliable number. I've also seen with good pro grade DMX controllers, Grand MA, that sort of thing, where you could push much more. But again, stick to what's recommended and you'll have better results 9 times out of 10, right? So, all right, I'm done trying to break things here and got the other end of my cables and we're going to connect it right up here. Now comes what may be the trickiest part of this whole process here. Okay, got my effect light plugged in. Now, fixture number 1 is address 1. It might be reasonable to DMX newbie here to think that fixture number 2 might be address 2. Well, now I'm going to throw some math at you, okay? First of all, remember our first light used 3 DMX channels.
Yes.
So in the DMX bus itself, the next available channel is 4. So the next available address is 4. But in this case, that doesn't really matter because the controller dictates how we do things. Because this controller has these fixture buttons, and each fixture button goes to 8 sliders, which have 2 pages for a total of 16. That fixture button number 1 is using 16 channels.
Okay.
And now we could combine a few lights on fixture number 1 and that sort of thing. And there's all kinds of clever ways we can do this, a little bit more advanced, but I want to keep this super, super simple here. So power can, fixture button number 1, fixture button number 2, because each button uses 16, the next available address is 17. So button 1 is 1, button 2 is 17, and so on and so forth, 33 and whatnot. And so what you can see here, this light is addressed now to 17.
Yes.
Okay.
And now how many channel mode is that set to?
This one only has one option, and I consulted the user's manual, and inside the user's manual, we can see this DMX schedule, which tells us what every channel does And if it looks hard, it's not. In this case, this fixture is a 5-channel fixture.
Okay.
Channel 1 is function. So remember on our par can or on our LED wash, the channels were red, green, and blue. In this case, it's totally different. Channel 1 is function. Channel 2 is pattern and chase. Channel 3 is pattern strobe and chase speed. Channel 4 is the dimmer, and channel 5 is rotation. So let me show you how easy this is. If you're just using one of those on-off controller kind of dealies and you're just turning your lights on and off and you want to go to DMX and you want it to be just that simple, many lights, this one included, have built-in sound active mode. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's there.
It's so quick that, yeah. We could see that we're live.
I am sorry.
We're trusting you now.
Well, don't take my word for it. There you go.
Sound active.
It's on. You know what? You can go look it up. It's the 80J Revo Rave. It's discontinued light, but the user's manual is still available online. I know because I just went and got it.
Exactly. That is
so. What we see here, if we look at this, is function channel number 1. Any value between 240 and 255 will make the light sound active. So if I take my controller, if I can get away with this. Yeah. Sorry, you have to tilt your head sideways maybe.
Turn your computer upside down to watch this part of the video.
This is not the best produced video I've ever done, but I have a better one, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, so I'm going to this number here is going to change when I move the slider. Okay, let's go fixture number 2. See the number changing?
There we go. It's
all right. Good. That's all you're going to see of that.
That was exciting.
Because I am just battling this cable here, but if I push this up past 240, our effect light should go into standalone mode. Looky there. Yep. It's doing its own thing back there. It's having sound active. It's having a good time. Woo, party, party. That easy. On, off, on, off. All right. Now you say, great. So I have the same functionality I had with my little on-off switches. Yes, you do. What if you wanted to do something a little bit more, well, I mean, the beauty of DMX is that you have control, right? So what if you wanted to actually have control? Let's say we want to do like a slow white effect for a slow dance or something. So let's go to channel 1 and we look at all the different things it'll do. And we say, well, let's try to find a pattern we like. So let's see, let's find the pattern we like here. Let's see, channel 2 is the chase, or excuse me, channel 1 is function. We're going to tell it we want a pattern, and channel 2 is the patterns. So let's go to this pattern. Let's go find a pattern we like. And you're probably not seeing anything yet because we still have a dimmer channel to contend with. So let's take our dimmer up all the way to full. Now we should see something back there.
There we are.
You know, let me prop this up so you can see it a little better. Star Wars never looked so good, did it?
There you go. Just like space, the final frontier.
There we go. All right. So now we say, okay, well, I've got my white pattern and I've got it doing all the things I want it to do. Maybe now I just want to add a little movement, and channel 5 is my movement. So we'll just give it just a little bit of movement. Maybe a little too fast. I could slow it down a little bit, maybe. Look at some different options for that. Let's try something in here. Now we'd have this white, slow-moving pattern that we could have out there. If you had multiples of these, they could all be doing this. In fog, of course, it's going to create like kind of a nice moonflower sort of looking pattern, that sort of thing. But, of course, let's see what else we got here. Well, we got some, we got channel 3. We can go nuts. We can make this thing strobe. We get a little fun with that, have, party. Of course, we do have different patterns and things we can choose from, and we can, make the control we want. So if we wanted something a little funkier, we could dial that right up by command as well. And of course, we still have control of my par.
So if you have one light in that with that particular controller, if you have the par, or I should say you have the Revo doing its thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then can you go and control the par as you switch from fixture 1 to fixture 2?
Sure, absolutely. Let's deselect fixture 1. Let's see if I can remember what I did to dial up my effect we just had here. Let's see, bring my dimmer up. A little bit of movement maybe.
There we go. Okay.
And let's say now I want, oh, hang on here. Not what I want there. Hold the phone. 92. So remembering what my DMX values were here. By the way, this is why software rules. You don't have to look at those numbers ever again, 0 to 255. You just push buttons.
Exactly. And in many cases, the buttons are all labeled because everything is already been pre-programmed in for fixtures, most of the cases.
All right. I think I would have to actually get out of the mode that I'm in this controller. So now this, but yes, you can do that. You can just select and deselect and bring up the effects that you want. But as soon as I deselect the fixture, it's wiping out those DMX values as I'm in a programming mode. Okay. So, and now again, if you're thinking DMX just suddenly got hard because you're saying, well, this thing doesn't work. Wait. Remember, it works fine in the right mode, and we'd have to look at how to do that here real quick. But honestly, software is so much easier. It's so much easier. This shows you how very simple DMX can be. And I know you're thinking, well, software is more expensive. That's true. And you have to have a computer. Also true. But man, I tell you what, friends, it just does not get any easier than software-based DMX control. You just simply click on a color you want, and it will take care of the RGB values for you. You can call up patterns by name rather than having to go hunt them down. You'll probably never look at this again. Anyway, but short answer, yes. That's how easy DMX can be. Very painful, very painfully simple.
We have a few questions here. I'm going to pick. Reggie,
while you look at those questions from Howie, since I'm gonna give you a link, John, because since I love everybody so much, and I'm spending my Valentine's evening with them. Years ago, you probably recall, I produced. Well, I didn't produce. I hosted. The producer produced a event lighting DVD. It's distributed globally. You can get it at Best Buy and Guitar Center and Amazon or whatever. Or here's a deal I'm going to make you just can't refuse. It's 2.5 hours long. There's fantastic content in there from all kinds of other industry experts, including some of your very own. I know Mitch Taylor's in it and a few other fantastic people. It's $29.99, which in and of itself is a crazy steal because you can't even hardly buy a DMX cable for that. But here's the deal I'm going to make you all tonight. All right, John doesn't know I'm doing this.
I don't know. We haven't talked about this.
Surprise!
I was just excited that I have the link for all the DMX software in the description below, so people can go click on that and go see the stuff that you guys had there. And I was when you started talking about software, it's like, I guessed the right thing to put in the description. So,
well, here's another link you didn't know about.
I didn't know.
Go to our website, nlfxpro.com, and type in the search box event lighting, and or look in the media category for DVDs, and you will find my event lighting DVD. And upon checkout, there's a little box on the right-hand side. You can enter a code, or I think step 5 of checkout lets you put in a coupon code. So just go through step 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry, it'll be there. When you see the coupon code, enter the word Cupid, and I will give you 50% off and free shipping. Now that is a Valentine's present.
Okay, so we've got the link to the software.
Cupid, all caps, CUPID, all caps. We'll get you 50% off of the event lighting DVD, and I'll pay the postage. With regards to the software, I just got a message tonight from somebody who says, hey, do you know anything about this DMX software? And I thought, well, that's ironic. I'm about to shoot a show on DMX. I said, yes, I do. He said, great. Can you help me with it? And I said, did you buy it from me? No, we didn't. Sorry, man. I got a show to film. So listen, please. I don't think it's unreasonable. Buy the software from me and I will help you with it. I've spent a lot of time on Skype calls and things with people. I don't want to turn this into a sales pitch, but again, I think it's just, fair is fair. I mean, if a bride booked your competition for a wedding and then called you from the wedding and said, hey, I got this guy that I hired instead of you and he doesn't know what to do. Would you help him? You'd probably say, come on, are you serious right now?
For sure.
So that's what I say. Anyway.
We got lots of questions lining up here, Ben.
Oh, good. Yeah. As soon as I start talking about selling stuff, they're like, please.
No, they've had their questions, and I've been
ask questions, so he'll stop trying to sell us stuff.
Okay, so first one. Some lights have a lost DMX signal mode. The lights will still work. Is that something that you have on all lights, or is that something kind of more on a mid or an up higher level lighting?
I'm not sure I heard the whole question.
It's just referring to some lights that once it loses DMX signal, that they will continue. I know when I've talked to Stowe and American DJ, some of the reps there, they talk about that. Is that if it becomes an interrupted signal, that the light will continue doing its thing, where some lights, as soon as it loses its DMX signal, it's like done.
Yeah, it'll basically hold the last frame. It'll hold the last instruction. That's not really it's not really something you could say, oh, well, this level of light has it and this level of light doesn't. Many high-end lights will black out in the absence of signal, figuring that no effect is better than the wrong effect.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you want a blackout on stage and you've got this light still piercing through in a rig, that could make an LD go insane, whereas one missing beam out of hundreds maybe isn't the end of the world. So some lights have it, some lights don't. That's just not, something you could say is universal. Just for fun, let's just try it here. Let's see what happens here. So I got my this light here, and I'm just going to unplug the DMX cable. Yeah, it instantly switched to a standalone mode. So it did not hold the last instruction. It just reverted. Now if I put the cable back in, it's back to red. If I take the cable out, it's back to standalone mode, doing its own thing. So not a universal thing for sure, I would say.
Right. Yeah, I think some fixtures seem to have it and some did not.
Yeah, and I don't know, because I could see it going both ways. I could see where people might see that as a feature, and I could see other people who would see that as a detriment. I think here's what I'm going to say about that. How about just don't lose DMX signal? Mm-hmm. And listen, I understand stuff can happen, but this is also very easy to do. Good equipment, good controller, good cabling. 99.9% of the time, you won't lose DMX signal. That's what I'm going to say. Cool.
Okay. Are you familiar with the weather system EXA from Blizzard?
Yes, I am.
Reggie was wondering what would be a good controller to be able to handle that a little bit better.
It depends. I'm a big fan of, like I said, software. And, there's lots of good software out there. My DMX 3.0 is great. Personally, I find myself using Show Express more. There's lots of options out there. And so as not to offend any of your sponsors, John, why don't we just take this into the private realm? Shoot me a message, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about them. And I'm also going to encourage you to download some free trials and try a few things out and see which ones you like. I think it really comes down to how you like to work, how the software handles the workflow. Lots of great options out there, and we sell them all. So
yeah.
I've got my preferences, but that doesn't mean they're right or wrong.
Yeah, there's controlling options from Blizzard has things, Stowe, American DJ. Pretty much everyone has something. It's really, as you say, what's the preference and what they want to do. As I'm looking at the fixture, it looks like it can go all the way from 6-channel mode all the way up to 54-channel mode if you want to basically pixel map it. So,
well, and that's one of the things I was not saying, but I'll say it now that you said it, is I really like Show Express's pixels. and you can do some mind-numbing stuff. The people who came to the lighting symposium, we showed them some things with pixels, and their heads just splattered all over the wall. And it's so easy. It honestly, it's just about as easy as what we just did here. You know, it's just so easy to create these dynamic and purposeful effects.
Can you show us, you had a question on how we got to 16 channels when with the light itself was only using 3, but there's only 8 sliders. So we need.
I sure can. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to unplug my DMX to do it, because that's I got this short little tail here.
And I'm going to put you back to full screen so you can have more real estate. Okay, you're good.
All right. So we got these 8 sliders here. Okay. And we've got this page select button here, page A, page B. All right. And on top here, you can see it says 1 through 8, and down below it says 9 through 16. So on fixture button 1, I have 8 sliders that represent 1 through 16, depending on which page I'm on.
Right.
Thus, fixture button number 2 then has to be starting at 17. So I could put 2 pars on these. You know, I could do par 1 right here, 1, 2, 3. I can make par address 4 and go, now I'd have another red, green, blue, so on and so forth. That's something you could do if you're a little bit more comfortable and savvy. I think this was, again, we just wanted to show people that this is really, really, really simple.
And in our example, we could have, because the one fixture was a 3-channel unit and the other one was using 5, we could have had them all under fixture 1 and controlling the flood with the first 3, and the next 3 or next 5 sliders could have been for the effect light.
Yeah, you're absolutely 100% right, John. Good point. Now, in software, I never think about that, because I'm going to stack all my stuff in right in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. It doesn't matter. And in fact, each DMX universe, we call it, is capable of up to 512 channels. Most software is capable of multiple universes. So if I had 2 universes, I'd have 1024, or 4 universes, 2048. Some of the concert rigs and things we work on use 50 universes.
Jeez, wow.
Staggering numbers. And so, again, it's still from a single point of control. You have that scalability. So
wow.
And when you get into pixels, you burn them up really fast.
Oh yeah, yes. I as we've done some videos with ArtNet and CleanNet and different things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the things that they can do. The next question. Wondering why you can't split DMX with a Y cable. You have to use an expensive splitter.
Well, first of all, you don't have to use an expensive splitter. You can find DMX splitters, or as I like to call them, duplicators, for around $100. So, very marginal cost. You don't have to buy expensive ones. The reason is because it's a digital signal. And what this splitter, or like I like to call them as a duplicator, is doing is it's creating an identical duplication of that digital signal. We can't just take like a Y cable, which maybe would work in an analog audio setting, and do that with a digital signal. We can create some really big problems with reflections and all kinds of other stuff. And again, keeping this at a 101 level, let's just say don't. All right, just don't. Now I've heard people say, "Well, I did it and it worked." Mm-hmm. Well, good for you. It'll work until it doesn't. Mm-hmm. I know a guy that speeds every day until he gets caught. Then he yells at the cop.
Just checking through. Tate was the one who was asking about the 16, and then fixture 2 being 17.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully that made sense.
I think so. It's just one of those the buttons and things back and forth. Yeah, each fixture button is going to allow you to access 16 additional channels between page 1 and page 2.
And the reason that I use those buttons is because then it's very easy to push the button and recall. Okay, the par is 1, the effect light is 2, that sort of thing. I don't have to think about where they are in relation to the faders anymore. Every fixture button brings up kind of a clean slate of faders for me,
Okay, I'm looking.
Again, the illustration is just how incredibly simple this can be.
And Tate, the answer, the second fixture doesn't always have to start on this particular controller. And the way Ben just did it, it was 17. But on the software,
right.
It's going to be the next available channel.
which in this case would be 4.
Yes, if it would have been, we'd been doing software, whether that's software with Show Express or any. They've mentioned I think I've seen a half a dozen different little.
At least.
And for those of you watching,
so I'll tell you what, here's the deal. Just like I said before, if it's something you want to dive deeper into, let's get connected privately. I'll get you a great price on the software, and then I'll spend some time. And I think it'll make a lot more sense when it's in front of you.
Yeah, I definitely, because I had Nick Aris, he had kind of walked me through some things also when we, so, let's question, does DMX, how does it work with lasers? Does it work any differently? I mean, or is it basically the same where you have your channels and each channel controls a different function?
DMX is DMX. I neglected to bring it out for this, but I have a DMX controlled coffee pot. So effect light, fader, effect light, power can, coffee pot, laser, doesn't matter. Lasers tend to be a little bit different, just in that there's another protocol called ILDA, which is a laser display protocol, and it's a little bit more fail-safe because of the high power nature of lasers and that sort of thing. So typically what we find in those lasers is DMX allows us to recall things. Maybe we don't have the precise control that we would with something like ILDA. Mm-hmm. But anyway, DMX is DMX.
Okay. I'm thinking we've gotten through most of the questions. Again, some of you have gotten over and purchased the DVD. Thank you for supporting Ben. That's one of the great things you guys can do to help. Because as he said, this is his way of giving back and such, and it's always nice for you guys to show some appreciation. And
well, I'll tell you what, I don't mean to interrupt you, John, but at $15 and me paying the postage, the publisher is going to be a little mad, I think, tomorrow when they find out I did this. But I have the right to have the ability to do that, on some level. That's just about giving that thing away.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it's been out a few years. You'll kind of look at some of the technology in there and say, boy, things have come away in the last couple of years. Yeah, they sure have. But the fundamentals are all still very sound. There is a ton of great information in there, 2.5 hours long, but it's chapterized, so you don't have to sit and watch it, like I do these shows on algorithms. Anyway, $15. There's just no way you should be able to talk yourself out of buying it, Yeah. So.
Good stuff, gang. Again, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of Ben. Drop him a line, and he'll help you where he can. And of course, it's always appreciated when you guys can. How soon can you order? Ben's going to go see his wife, so maybe tomorrow.
How soon can you order what? The DVDs?
Oh, they're ordering the DVDs, but I mean, if they want to order software and get a.
Yeah.
Katie will be in tomorrow.
Yeah, you can send me messages tonight. You can always send messages to Katie, Katie Lynn Sabak, Cabak on Facebook. She's fantastic. She'll get back to you maybe even tonight, but for sure tomorrow. You can message me anytime. Just I'm not going to respond anymore tonight. Anyway, we're here to help you. So yeah, you can start ordering right away. You can put in inquiries right away, and we'll get back to you as promptly as we can.
Somebody's asking about the software and the DVD. The link is in the description, gang. You just, after we're done, just hit refresh. The link will pop up, and we put the word there so you can grab that, and off you go.
Yeah, or just go to our website, nlfxpro.com, and type in event lighting in the search box, and it should pop up. It's a blue cover. There is another DVD called the Geek Boot Camp, which has got like a dark green cover. You might as well grab that while you're at it, but
that's just
want to make sure we knew which DVD we needed to get here.
That's a pretty in-depth video for those of you.
It is. Here's the great thing. We're struggling a little bit. I got stuff falling off my desk here, and I'm kind of trying to make this work in my little makeshift, studio here. This DVD was actually shot with a real camera crew and professionals and
fire departments and.
Yeah, that was in the Geek Boot Camp. Yes, that's worth the DVD alone. It's just
exactly. I mean, there it is. We've got the
state electrical inspectors. But there's things you can do in a professionally produced multi-camera shoot that you just can't do in a show like this. So I think there's some great things in the DVD. Some friends of mine who are lighting designers contributed a few of their thoughts.
Yeah.
Again, the fundamentals are sound though. And you know, if for some reason you don't feel like you got $15 worth of knowledge out of these 2.5 hours, I don't know. I'll buy you a cup of coffee and apologize in person, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
You
have
know,
to worry about that part.
you don't have to tell me you didn't like the DVD. I'll buy you a cup of coffee anyway. Just, you know, a nice guy. So
Good stuff. We need to roll. Thank you guys for watching tonight. If you have any other questions or anything, you can, get a hold of us, or after the video is over, you can put those down in the comments down below. Those stay. These all on the side go. So if there's anything that you guys add in the next 15 minutes, they will be gone. We'll never see them. So please, any lingering questions in the comments down below. In about 20 minutes, the video should process and be there. Otherwise, we will see you guys back here in about 15 minutes with Brian Red tonight. Ben, thanks for being on tonight.
Happy Valentine's Day, John.
Thank you. Same to you.